I plead the fifth. Have a great weekend, everybody.
And welcome back to Dad. Did we just lie to America? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Break America.
I'm Skylar, your resident Gen Z doom scroller.
And I'm Corey, your cynical Gen Xer. And let me tell you,
You're cynical.
I'm extra cynical today. I mean, really extra cynical. By the way, maybe cynical's not the word.
I don't think it's the word, by the way. I really don't think
Maybe
it's
wait a minute. Let me get a thesaurus. I don't know. Dumbfounded?
I'm flabbergasted.
That's a big word.
Yeah. I don't know
Now,
what
could you imagine spelling that in a spelling bee?
FLABBERGA.
I don't think it's two B's. Is it
One
two
B.
B's?
I don't know. One B or two B.
Might be two G's, no?
FABGERGASTED. Flabbergasted.
You're supposed to say it again after you spell it, right?
Yeah.
You have to use it in a sentence, or that's no.
I'm flabbergasted.
Okay. Okay. So we're here today to talk about
Anthony Fauci. I don't know, do you call it testimony?
Well, testimony is typically when you're asked a question and then you answer the question.
Well, he did give testimony.
I mean, yes, he did show up for testimony.
He gave an opening statement.
He did?
Yes.
He didn't show up voluntarily. He showed up under subpoena, which I understand the legal reasons why that is done.
If I was him, I wouldn't voluntarily show up either.
But, I mean, why don't we unpack it for the listeners? Like, he was asked a whole bunch of questions. Which committee was this in Congress?
Homeland Security Committee.
That's the total name of it? Okay. And that's chaired by Dr. Paul.
Dr. Rand Paul.
What is he a doctor of? Divinity or
medicine?
Is it?
I think so. I think he's a doctor. I thought. I could be totally making that up.
Do you normally make things up?
No, I'm not alive.
Unlike Dr. Fauci. Oh, he's an eye doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor.
And he decided to go to Congress.
Yeah, we're thankful that he did.
My condolences to him.
Okay,
so go ahead.
Sorry. So before this hearing, Rand Paul released over 1,000 pages, unredacted, of Anthony Fauci's personal diary.
How did they get Anthony Fauci's personal diary? They subpoenaed that?
No, because it was an online diary and he used his government server for it. Because he's a fool.
Hi, I'm a moron.
Like, Jesus, I mean, thank God he did, but what are you doing?
Do most people keep a diary, you think, in his position?
Somebody wrote the funniest article and was like, my teenage daughter has a diary. She's 13, and she hides her diary better than Anthony Fauci did. At least she locks her diary.
So he kept notes in a diary.
For a number of years.
During the pandemic?
Yes.
Before and after, or just during?
All the above. I really only read the ones that were during.
The highlighted ones?
Yeah, because they were...
The ones that were juicy?
Contradictory.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I feel like we should probably break some of those down because they're going to come up through what we break down in the hearing. He was asked a lot of questions about his private statements versus his public statements. So in January 2020, so think about this, January of 2020.
All right, right when everything was shutting down.
No. We didn't shut down until March.
Okay, but it was starting. We were getting there.
Yeah, but like we didn't really know. We didn't know about the Wuhan Virology lab. None of us knew about any of that.
Well, I understand that.
He says he wrote in his journal, his diary, on January 26th of 2020, let's get the dates right. Now we know the market was not the source, it was the amplifier. For over 5 years, this man has gone on every single show he's invited on, every single opening of an invitation, telling us that this has natural origins and it came from a wet market. In January of 2020, he said it didn't.
Well, it's a foregone conclusion that the truth about COVID-19, or whatever the virus really is, SARS, whatever,
it's like SARS-CoV-2 or something.
Yeah, is obviously been kept secret for a very long time, purposely, right? So nobody knows what really happened. I mean, there are bits and pieces. I didn't catch the whole entire hearing. I only saw bits and pieces of it as it was flashing on by. But some of the questions, and again, being or playing devil's advocate, as I do, part-time.
On TV?
I'm not doing it on TV anymore. I'm on Broadway now.
Okay. That's really special.
Devil's advocate. Presupposing that the questioner's facts are true. Cynical doesn't cut it. I'm scared in the world because that only goes to show how corrupt our government really is.
Yeah, and a lot of the questioners actually were saying, like, number one, let's preface that on his way out of office, President Biden granted Anthony Fauci the fullest pardon ever seen.
I think we should talk about that because if you have a full pardon signed by a president of the United States, that means, and I don't remember the exact legality of it, but I'm not sure, but I think that means you probably cannot be prosecuted in any forum within the continental or contiguous United States or any judiciary within the United States, all the way up to the Supreme Court or Congress. So you probably couldn't even be held in contempt of Congress. I don't think.
He actually can. Here's the issue.
Oh, what? Because he's
pleading the fifth, and he doesn't have the right to.
Well,
he who has
that was the question. Yeah, that was the question I was going to ask. I mean, for all intents and purposes, if you have a pardon against any, prosecution whatsoever, like it's presidential pardon is whatsoever, right? And it's a forward-looking pardon. It's not like somebody who went to jail for 10 years on a 30-year sentence and you got your sentence commuted and you got pardoned by the president. This is your pardon for anything that you did or could have done during this point in time.
From 2014 until 2025. January 1, 2014.
All right, so it has a time frame.
Yeah, and January 2014 is when he started funding this gain-of-function research. So it's interesting. Why that date? What'd you do on that date?
You did something.
Yeah.
Or that's when something started.
Yeah, started funding research that it was too dangerous to fund, to do here. Should we go through so there are a lot of legal issues. Also, Ted Cruz was on Fox this morning and he was explaining, like, there are some sticky legal and constitutional questions because they don't really see pardons like this often or at all, and they don't necessarily know how to deal with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A forward-looking pardon.
But is it forward-looking? I think if he.
Well, no. I'm going to say if it has a distinct time frame.
I think it's like 10 years. Going from the date it was put into effect. But then the statute of limitations on anything after that would be gone anyways.
Right. But if it says specifically from this date to this date, then anything you do or say after the end date is fair game.
Yeah.
So if it only indemnified you to not be prosecuted until whatever date in 2025, then...
No, not until. The pardon is for January, anything that he possibly could have done or did from January 1, 2014 until the date the pardon was issued. So January of 2025. But I think there's a 10-year period where it's in effect or something.
No, but I think constitutionally you would read that as you're pardoned for any crime that you committed from this date to this date. Whatever you do after the end date is fair game. So if listen, Michael Cohen went to jail for lying to Congress, right? That was prosecuted.
Well, yes, that they were very clear about. They were like, and Rand Paul said that at the end of the hearing, he was like, all you had to do was come and be honest. You can't be prosecuted for anything that you tell us you did that is a crime.
Right. So, but if you're lying about it in 2026, about what you did in 2020,
that's a crime.
Well, perjury is a crime.
Yeah.
But pleading the fifth is not perjury.
No, but I think they were waiting for him to lie.
Yeah, but pleading the fifth is not lying.
No, I don't think they realized until yesterday morning, that he actually was not going to answer a single question because he's never done this before.
Well, listen, I understand it from a legal strategy because it makes sense not to answer these questions in a public forum on national television because you don't know what the Department of Justice could do with it if you're him.
Totally, but not answering these questions is an admission.
Well, the negative inference from the Fifth Amendment is that you're not answering. I mean, based even on the statement, I'm not going to answer because I don't want to incriminate myself.
Right. So,
but these aren't. Did you drive the getaway car? Were you carrying the weapon at the holdup? Did you mail the documents? These are. What did you know and what did you lie about?
And what did you do?
Right. So anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
So should we go back to his diary? So he says here about a meeting that he wrote about in his diary, February 1st of 2020, where 12 scientists got on a conference call with him discussing whether the virus could have arisen naturally. Many thought genetic manipulation was plausible enough to warrant discussion. This meeting became a major focus because several participants later co-authored papers supporting a natural origin explanation. But he wrote in his diary, so-and-so, that only 2 of them felt that it could have naturally occurred. And he wrote their names in the diary, and then you go back and you see that they co-authored papers saying that it occurred naturally.
Well, if you commit the greatest crime on the planet, which you lie to the American people, claim something's natural, an illness that turned into a pandemic is natural, but it's not. It was made by cross-sectioning all sorts of different things that you funded, and you lied about it. Why would you keep a diary?
No, I don't understand this. Why does he have a diary? I thought this was a joke when I first heard it. Because what grown man keeps a diary? He privately estimated a much lower fatality rate.
And where did he get that information from?
I don't think that really matters. I think what matters is that on February 8th of 2020, before anything was going on here, his diary entry states that the fatality rate might be more like 0.2 to 0.3%. He publicly said it's so fatal, it's around 2%. Then he said publicly for years that he had nothing to do with the school shutdowns, right?
Right.
March 15th, 2020, in parentheses, he writes, "big day," exclamation point, in all caps, because he's bizarre. I spoke with Bill de Blasio and convinced him, based on what I was saying publicly and my conversation tonight, to close the NYC schools. He had already decided based on what I was saying on TV. Fauci also wrote that he told de Blasio he should close the bars and restaurants also. He later wrote in the same entry that he had a similar conversation with the chief of staff to Governor Newsom. He repeatedly reflects on his own fame in his diary entries.
Yeah, I saw something about that, and I think that that's so bizarre. So let me get this straight. Anthony Fauci, the head of NIH or whatever at the time,
Mm-hmm.
is more interested in being on TV and in press conferences.
No, he's more interested in being a celebrity.
Right. So he really wants to be a Kardashian.
Yeah. Here, so he also, I'll give you examples in a second. So he said he also documented frequent contact with celebrities, media figures, and public officials. So March 21st, 2020, this is how the entry starts, okay? COVID deaths, 9,800 worldwide. The next line, big front page article about me appeared in the Washington Post. Very flattering. Sir, are you okay?
A little impressed with yourself, but go ahead.
March 22nd, after discussing the worsening pandemic, Fauci wrote, White House press conference picked up by many outlets, many print profiles and features on me. Ridiculous, too numerous to count. Press is going wild with me. March 23rd. Apparently, the White House is very upset that I'm being profiled, and it looks like I'm putting down the president and becoming a star that outshines him. March 26th.
Yes, and what does that have to do with the pandemic, you moron?
Crazy in all caps. He says crazy twice in all caps. Donuts are being named after me. T-shirts have my picture on them and are being sold. San Francisco radio is dedicating a song to me. FaceTime with Trevor Noah. Instagram with Steph Curry.
Instagram with Steph Curry.
The people are dying, sir, dying. May 21st, 2020. The situation with my national and international fame is explosive and really unimaginable. It is not hyperbole to say that today I am the most famous and talked about person in the country and one of the most recognizable persons in the world. I cannot even read all the things that are written about me since I am so busy. ... Seriously.
So busy doing what?
Apparently nothing. This is deeply troubling.
Well, what troubles you so much? That he's a human being and wants to be the center of attention and wants to be a celebrity? Doesn't everybody who watches Instagram?
Vanity is dangerous for a reason.
Vanity is one of my favorite sins.
It's a sin for a reason.
All right.
Here, so then he also, this was interesting. He's going on TV every night telling us that we can't leave our homes and can't interact with people, okay?
Right.
But in his private diary with the dates, July 3rd, 2020, had dinner over Jake Tapper and Jen Tapper's home in D.C. Terrific couple, friendship building. What are you doing at somebody else's house, sir? And why are you writing about it?
Okay, continue.
Now, October 23rd, had dinner at my home with Jake and Jennifer Tapper. Relaxed, good time. Jake clearly believes that Trump is totally nuts. In the same entry, hit 83,000 new cases today. The single-day record since the beginning of the outbreak. Surge continues. This is at the same time that he told people to cancel Thanksgiving.
Interesting.
You're having the Tappers over for dinner, but I can't see anybody I know? But this is Tony's diary, okay? Then, so the hearing, let's go to the hearing.
Okay.
Should we do that?
I don't know, should we?
So he gave an opening statement. At the end of the opening statement, he said, even though it pains me to do so because of how much I respect the legislative branch of government, I am going to invoke my Fifth Amendment.
Fauci.
Jesus Christ. Also, apparently, could be a problem.
One assumes.
Like, apparently, recent precedent says that if you're going to come and give personal testimony, then you can't do both.
Well, I don't see how you could not do both. But that's just me. What do I know?
I don't know. Congress is like a wild place.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
And I don't always watch those things live. So I didn't read any of the news about it. I didn't want to know anything about it. I wanted zero spoilers.
You didn't doom scroll?
No. I waited like 2 hours. I waited for it to be completely over.
Wow.
And then I watched it. I love a congressional hearing.
Well, a congressional hearing is almost like a show trial.
Yeah, it's great. They're hysterical. I love them, and I've seen a ton. I watch them all the time. I really do, that.
Yep.
But I've never in my life,
It's a good pastime. Do you make popcorn?
no, actually sometimes but I don't make it. My boyfriend makes it for me because I like how he pops the corn better. But, what?
In the microwave?
Yeah, he just presses the correct buttons. Anyways, I've never in my life seen anything like this. Actually, ever. It was bizarre.
I think it's kind of crazy in today's day and age that we allowed a high-paid government official to run around, make policy, say all these things, claim, Chicken Little, the sky is falling, the world's coming to an end, cats and dogs are living together, mass hysteria, and the fish are coming out of the sea, alligators are in the sewers, all these different issues. Meanwhile, all the guy was doing was lining his own pockets and lying through his teeth.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk about the lining of his own pockets.
Good.
So there was a lot of questioning
Lay it on me.
about things that he did and money that he made. Josh Hawley had a particularly fun line of questioning about it. He said, I know why you're doing what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And also, you got rich during COVID. They went through his emails and they take out the big posters.
Yes.
Those are my favorite.
Yes. Yes. By the way, it's almost like it's a sporting event and they're rooting for the team. Right? Now, is there are those staffers that do that?
Yes.
Is there a committee in Congress that there's a sign on the door that says big posters?
No.
There's not a group of people that do that?
No, I think that they speak to each other because some of them shared one, because one of them was printing it, so they utilized it for their questioning later, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think they discuss what they're printing.
Got it.
But I don't know. Those are my favorite. And he brought up quotes of his emails saying, let me read some to you. I think I actually sent these to you. I had to keep pausing because I was like, there's no way he's that dumb. Okay, so this is from his chief of staff. This is an internal NIH email.
Okay.
I'm working on this nomination for the Dan David Award for ASF, Fauci in parentheses. Need to beef up the COVID part. Do you have language in the can that you could share that delineates how we responded in many ways to COVID? He pursued the Dan David Prize, the Partnership for Public Services Service to America Award, AAAS Philip Abelson Prize, the Smithsonian Institution's Great Americans Medal Gold Medal, the National Academy of Medicine Gustav O. Reinhardt Award, the CDC's Foundation Fries Prize, the Vanderbilt University Nicholas Chancellor Medal, Georgia Institute of Technology's Ivan Allen Jr. Prize for Social Courage.
Social courage.
Whatever the hell that means. And he used 8 federal employees to apply for these awards. And they brought out a sign with the names of all the 8 federal employees.
And how much money did these awards give him?
He
got it personally or the government?
No, he got these. He utilized his role in the government. He utilized federal dollars, taxpayer dollars, and federal employees to enrich himself. These are cash prizes. He made in cash prizes over $1 million. Does nobody think that's nuts?
I mean, I understand that. I think it's nuts, but I understand it. Why is that okay? But there are all these reports flying around about how much the Trump family is making while their father's in office. That's not okay. But it's okay for Fauci to have made all this money being in office.
Here, this makes it worse, okay? Tony's assistant routinely I love when they call him Tony. It's so funny. Routinely tells his sponsors as soon as NIAID is notified that Tony's an award recipient that the cash prizes need heightened review. And we don't want to say no, just want to say no. We want to try to get to yes. Yes takes time.
Okay.
Then here's my favorite poster that Josh Hawley brought up, Fauci on the cover of InStyle magazine.
Unreal.
People were dying by something you created.
Well, he didn't personally create it.
No, but it wouldn't have been created if he didn't go crazy on this dangerous research that sorry, let me get my Rand Paul specific notes.
Well, excuse me.
He questioned Fauci, this is specific, about the 2011 to 2012 gain-of-function research of the avian bird flu. They tested it like with ferrets. Paul noted, but before the studies were published, the National Science Advisory Board for Biosecurity recommended to Fauci that he withhold the details because they could be misused to create a biological weapon.
Okay. And Fauci decided that was not a good idea?
Not only decided it wasn't a good idea, he slandered everybody that said gain-of-function research is dangerous, that it could be used for very dangerous things. It could kill tons of people. And he just funded it outside of our country instead, in a totalitarian country, where in a lab that was run by this Communist Party of China.
Now, let me ask you a question. I'm going to go full controversy with you.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me, okay, you're a little crazy.
Okay, just go.
Who is Fauci doing this for? Because it's not for Fauci.
For somebody else in the federal government. I wrote an article a couple of years ago. I studied the timing of this research and of when these bans, the moratoriums were lifted and when different things happened about gain of function. They did this to destroy Trump.
Who did that? Or we don't.
The powers that be, the deep state.
Gain of function means I'm going to keep researching an ailment or a disease.
That's not in humans.
Right, but until it gains function.
Yeah, in people.
Right. And didn't they use body parts from embryo or dead or from aborted babies? Is that the idea?
Yeah. So
Can you explain that? Because I was a little unsure. I want to make sure I'm saying it.
Yeah, it's deeply disturbing. So Joni Ernst asked about the aborted babies. There was language that was used, I guess, by the researchers that they called them BLT rats.
Right. That was like rats where
they took the body parts of aborted 5-month-old babies, because I guess they were old enough to be more human-like.
Right.
And they put them into rats to see how these viruses would react to more human-like creatures.
So utilizing the human body parts into the rats allows them to...
They humanize the rats.
Which is bizarre because a rat's a rat, a human's a human.
Yeah.
To see how it interacted with human body parts?
Yeah. Joni Ernst said the mice contained human fetal livers, thymus, and lung tissue obtained from aborted fetuses. Ernst stated the researchers referred to the mice as BLTL mice and described them as a sandwich of aborted body parts. And she asked him, Dr. Fauci, yes or no, do you think that human aborted body parts should be put into mice for coronavirus research?
And he said, I plead the fifth.
Yeah. So there's that.
That's a sobering moment in American history.
I find that deeply disturbing.
How deep?
Like, very deeply disturbing.
Like past the pool.
Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
So taxpayer money.
Yeah, we paid for this.
Funded us taking aborted fetus body parts. Which I don't even understand the science, but I'm not a doctor, never claimed.
But also,
I'm not a scientist.
Why are you keeping their body?
Well, we use embryonic cells for a lot of different things, but in any event, so we took those body parts and we put them into other animals and called it medical research.
Yeah, and then tested the coronavirus and other viruses to see how a humanized species, I guess, would react to this virus. Like, you have nothing to say about that? It's deeply disturbing for people to hear. People don't want to hear about this.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's not that I don't want to hear about it. It's sickening to me that our tax dollars paid for that and that the former administration allowed it to happen. Now, obviously, people are going to say Fauci was in office while Trump was in office. I'm going to assume Trump didn't know anything about this at the time.
No, I mean, even if you look back at what he funded with the beagles, he funded research on thousands and thousands of dogs. And not only did they torture these animals, they removed their voice boxes so the researchers wouldn't have to hear the dogs crying.
That's ridiculous.
Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. All in the name of?
Not science. This is not science.
Well, what would you call it?
Barbaric behavior. Why would we need to know about a virus that wasn't infecting people? Why would we need to know?
Well, we hope to infect people.
Right, but it didn't infect people.
See, let me ask you a question. How is this not a crime against the government? How is this not like espionage?
It is.
But how is it not? Like, why is Anthony Fauci walking the planet? Why isn't he in a jumpsuit sitting in a federal prison?
Because somebody gave him a pardon.
Well, I know who gave him a pardon. The guy who can't even sign his own name.
No, we actually don't know who signed the pardon, and we don't know if Biden knows about it.
But that's the problem. If you could
get to the bottom of that might be an issue too. But I don't know how you figure that out.
I find all of this sickening. And if this is going on, what else is going on that you don't know about?
Well, that's what they were questioning about. Number one, they were saying, like, again, you cannot be prosecuted for anything you say, but we're begging you to tell us the truth because a pandemic like this is very possible that it's going to happen again, and we need to know what you did wrong. We need to know if we're still funding other research such as this. Tell us the truth so we could stop it.
Well, you're never getting to the truth.
No. That's is incredibly obvious. Dangerous.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Okay, they didn't even say that there were biosecurity concerns about releasing that information about the avian bird flu. He said, Paul argued that experts had warned publication itself could provide a blueprint for terrorist or hostile nations seeking to develop dangerous pathogens.
And that's the whole thing. Isn't it a national security issue?
Yes, it's a major national security issue.
So
why are we funding research in less than secure labs in China to begin with?
We have to do the research so we know what's, again, it's like nuclear weapons. Everybody's got to have something, but that's not the point. The point is we're not supposed to use it on our own people.
No, but also, why are we doing this funding with China?
Well, because it was done purposely, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they knew that it would get out to see if it works.
Yeah, it accidentally got out. Nobody believes that.
Well, they purposely did it. First of all, the Chinese, in my opinion, did it because they want to thin their population.
Yeah, but they also want to thin the rest of ours too, apparently.
So, again, at the end of the day, though, nothing's happening to this guy. Now, if I went and did these things...
You'd be in jail 6 years ago.
Yes, I'd be in jail a long time ago. But this guy was able to go do this stuff and make money doing it.
Millions of dollars.
That's the crazy part.
And he made like over $400,000 a year of our money.
Yep.
He was the highest paid federal government employee. For what?
To enrich himself.
Then, I've never heard this before, and I've done a lot of deep dives actually about him, about Fauci, and I didn't know about this, and obviously I was not around for the AIDS situation.
Right.
I was doom scrolling last night. He did the same thing with the AIDS epidemic, apparently. And I haven't heard anybody speak about this. So my apologies if people have been speaking about it for a long time. I haven't seen it.
No, I don't think I've heard any specific information on it.
I watched a video of him an hour ago, I think, being interviewed about during the AIDS epidemic about how like you could get it if you're in close contact in a home with somebody that has it. This is what he was telling people.
Well, that's not true.
Well, but this is what he was telling people. It's not the common cold.
In any event, what's going to happen now? What do we do now as a society?
We do nothing.
What do you mean we do nothing?
I don't know.
We
I
have to
don't
do
know what
something.
you do.
You have to do something that this stuff doesn't happen again.
You think?
Yeah, I think.
We got into a lot about the vaccine. Very interesting.
Okay.
Vaccine efficacy.
Right, because they were saying so many people have so many problems from the vaccine.
Remember when Anthony Fauci got vaccinated live on TV?
Yes.
Big moments. Let everybody know the vaccine is safe, everybody. What he didn't tell us, but wrote in his handy dandy diary, is that Anthony Fauci had some complications from the vaccine.
Interesting.
RFK said, one of the things that was new to me in his diary was his admission that he got a pulmonary infraction in July of 2021 after receiving the vaccine.
Interesting.
But he's parading around like it's safe.
Interesting.
People die from things like that, no?
Yes, they do. Or they can.
And like a blood clot that goes to your lung.
That's
not good.
Can, or it could go to some other part of your body. So where do we go from here?
I don't know.
But I would have to say that America's broken.
No, for sure broken. Senator Hawley opened his line of questioning. Well, he first said something along the lines of like, nothing says honesty like pleading the fifth, huh, Doc? And then he said, let's try something. What day of the week is it?
That's a standard tactic.
It was mind-numbing. Mind-numbing. He said, what day of the week is it? What color tie are you wearing? What color is the carpet in front of you? And Bernie Moreno, big star. He says, it was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? He was talking about in Ohio, this family, they took their kids to see like their high school football team play.
Right.
They didn't wear masks because they were just sitting with their family and they lived together in the same house and they were outside and they were not near anybody else. They got dragged out by authorities and the mom was arrested. So then he said he saw that and he was like, I can't just sit here and watch this. This is crazy. And then Moreno asked everybody in the audience who had been ridiculed or punished for holding views that later gained broader acceptance that we know are now true to stand up, including people who questioned mask mandates, school closures, vaccine mandates, and the 6-foot distancing rule. After, like, basically the entire audience stood up, he asked him to look at the people behind him who you absolutely shamed for saying what we now know to be the truth. And Fauci refused to look behind him because he's a coward.
Shocking.
Is really awful. This man created something, funded the making of a biological weapon, sat there and lied to people for years about it, and had dinner with high-profile journalists while Americans said goodbye to their loved ones on the phone.
That is true.
This is disgraceful.
It's true.
Disgraceful. I don't understand this. And I guess what happens next, they're going to vote next week in committee on contempt.
Which is never happening to Fauci anyway. Nothing's going to come of that. Even if they said he was in contempt, nothing's going to happen.
No, but it's probably just fun for them, right? They also finally shared what the vaccine actually is. Ron Johnson said, you knew what the vaccine was. It's experimental gene therapy.
That explains all the problems I've been having.
Yes. It's very
I
dangerous.
got 3 years on the side of my head. Anyway, thank you for listening to us today. This is our emergency Fauci pod. We had to move the schedule to discuss this ridiculous flarin' filth from Anthony Fauci.
I plead the fifth. Have a great weekend, everybody.